or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to have a real good look at something very cool which has happened over in Japan. You see, they've got their latest Extra Battle Day, which is happening, well, from January the 1st. It's happening from Monday. And there is an extra battle pack which is being given out. And they do this every year, and it is awesome. So let's take a gander, shall we? Now, what's really cool is we do actually get a card that we can use. There is a Raihan, which is being given out as a participation promo, which is honestly pretty cool. Raihan is a card that does see a bunch of play at the moment. It's the one where if you've had a Pokemon KO'd last turn, you get to attach a basic energy from your discard to one of your Pokemon and search your card for any deck. And yes, we've had multiple prints of Raihan. We had the regular in Evolving Skies, we had the full art in Evolving Skies, we had the Rainbow Rare in Evolving Skies, we had a second full art in Silver Tempest, we had the autograph version in Crown Zenith, and we got the special illustration rare in Crown Zenith as well. We've had 6 different prints. Did we need a 7th different print of Raihan? Nah, mate. We did not. I actually really love it, though. I love that it's Raihan kind of getting ready to go out to the tournament. Again, if you played Sword and Shield, you're going to look at that locker room and be like, I see this. This is pretty cool. So yeah, turn up, get that, job's a good un. Oh yeah, and you also get yourself an extra Battle Day promo pack. And then if you win, you get an extra Battle Day promo pack. And basically, there's promo packs being given out if you do well, all right? But this is what we get very, very, very excited about. And basically what they're doing, and they've done this for the past few years, they are giving us old cards, but they've gone and made them new again. Okay, they've given us old cards with stamps on. But these are cool cards. And look, let's take Tapu Lele as an example, because Tapu Lele is clearly one of the coolest ones here, all right? We all know that Tapu Lele is not a recent card. Tapu Lele came out in Guardians Rising. Tapu Lele rotated many years ago at this stage. Guardians Rising launched in May 2017. It's been rotated for years, all right? This isn't even a Sword and Shield era card. This is a Sun and Moon era card, an early Sun and Moon card. Guardians Rising, if I remember correctly, was literally Sun and Moon 2. So we're currently on Scarlet and Violet 4, and we had 12 Sword and Shield sets in between. Tapu Lele is not a recent card. It's not the oldest card here, incidentally. It's actually one of the more recent cards. So yeah, it's been gone a while. But it's still legal in the expanded format, and that's kind of my point here, because that is the whole point of this tournament. This is a tournament which is the extra regulation over in Japan, which of course is their equivalent of our expanded. And I know that for us, expanded basically died. Like, technically, expanded still exists. Expanded is still a thing, but expanded doesn't really exist for us anymore. Like, all the regionals are in standard. I don't think we're even allowed to do league challenges and all in expanded at the moment. I could be wrong about that. I know there was an argument, there was a misprint initially when they were announced. But the point is, expanded tournaments don't really exist for us at the moment. But you never know when they're going to come back. And in Japan, extra regulation does still exist. And this is a tournament where they go, hey, have these old cards with the new stamp. This is kind of awesome. So Tapu Lele is one that we see there. And obviously that's, you know, when you play it, search your deck for a supporter card, put it in your hand. It's phenomenal. Sees a bunch of play and expanded. Now that's the only GX, but there is actually an EX as well. From back in Evolutions, we get Dragonite EX, which not for nothing is actually an extremely good card. A card that sees a bunch of play still in expanded and did for a long time when it was out. It's got an ability that lets you grab 2 basic Pokemon other than Dragonite EX from your discard pile to your hand. It's really very, very good. So Dragonite sees a bunch of play, we get that as well. But then they keep going. They're giving us Garbodor. Garbodor! Obviously, it's one of the ones, there were two of them, but it's one of the ones whereby when it's got a tool attached, it turns off abilities. Yeah, it's Garbodor. We know Garbodor at this point, but it turns off abilities. And the Garbodor that turns off abilities is clearly an excellent card. It's clearly a card that saw a bunch of play when it was legal. It's clearly a card which is going to keep seeing a bunch of play. So, yeah, this is Garbodor. And if you're playing Expanded, this is the card you're going to want. But hey, apparently, just having one Pokemon that turns off abilities wasn't enough. We've also got Wobbuffet. This is Wobbuffet from Phantom Forces, and yes, you may notice that we're basically talking X and Y era now. Yeah. Yes, we are, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are. This is from Phantom Forces, which is X and Y 4. And now it's coming back here. While it's active, Pokemon don't have abilities. Including your own, incidentally. It also turns off your own Pokemon's abilities. But that's fine, because in theory, you're less reliant on abilities than your opponent. And everybody's happy. All those Pokemon can be gotten in this promo pack. That's kind of amazing. But then they basically just keep going and give you a bunch of other cards, including Double Dragon Energy. For what it's worth, this is the only energy card in this pack, but it's a doozy. It's the one that just you attach it to a dragon Pokemon and it's 2 of any energy. It's phenomenal. It's a card that if it got reprinted now, and it's probably fair to assume it's not going to be, but if it did get reprinted now, it would instantly take like half a dozen dragons and make them viable. Okay, full disclosure, I've not looked it up and done the maths on that, but it would instantly make every dragon better, and it would almost certainly make a bunch of them a lot more viable than they are. It's not coming back, but if it did, that would be pretty gosh darn cool. We've got a couple of stadiums. We've got Skyfield. Now, that is a card they cannot reprint. They cannot do it, because future Pokemon would be busted with Skyfield. It would be absolutely ridiculous. I feel very confident the Skyfield's not coming back, because if they did, it would be full-on broken. But yeah, unless you have 8 bench Pokemon, it's clearly very, very cool. The other stadium they are bringing back here is Silent Lab, and basically, this whole battle pack is just a war on abilities. Because it turns off abilities. Each basic Pokemon in play, in each player's hand, and in each player's discard pile has no abilities. Yeah, look, when we get to Expand, I don't know how many of you have played Expanded recently or like ever, but basically there's a lot of control in Expanded because we've got just the tools to make it work well. And control, if viable, is always a great strategy. So yeah, there's a bunch of control cards here. I am sorry. We've also got Wally that lets you just evolve one of your Pokemon. And yes, that does let you essentially cheat. It lets you evolve a Pokemon the turn you play it. Wally's a very good card, incidentally. So we got Wally there. That's pretty cool. We got Floatstone, which is a great card that just removes your retreat cost. It's less egregious than I think a lot of the other ones on the list. I don't think it's coming back in our standard format anytime soon, but it is a great card that sees a huge amount of play, pairs nicely, incidentally, with Garbodor. We've got Versus Seeker. Now, Versus Seeker is a phenomenal card, lets you grab a supporter card from your discard pile, put it into your hand. Clearly, this is a very, very cool one. We've got Trainer's Mail, lets you look at the top 4 cards of your deck and find an item card, whack it in your hand. That's actually a really good card. This is one of the cards I got most wrong. Because you only train a card. And, yeah, that was a card that when released, I said wasn't going to be particularly good. And frankly, I was extremely wrong. And then we finish off with Battle Compressor, a card that I've always thought was going to end up being banned at some point. It's way too good. Just lets you discard 3 cards from your deck. But we've got so many things that play from your discard pile that honestly, that makes Battle Compressor just absolutely nuts, especially in Expanded. And let's not forget, if nothing else, you can literally just use it to thin out your deck so you can draw a little bit better. But I do need to mention, and this is something that the lovely Antoine Boulet brought to my attention, this is now a Scarlet and Violet promo card. It's got Scarlet and Violet promo card numbering. It's got 136 SVP down at the bottom. Yes, these are all technically Scarlet and Violet promo cards. If you're keeping a complete collection, you will need all of these. But it's an X and Y era card with an X and Y era border and layout and all of that. That's a Scarlet and Violet promo. But it actually got printed in previous years as a Sword and Shield promo. So now it's an SP promo, an SVP promo, but it's an X and Y card with all the X and Y stuff. I just find that very amusing. That amuses me. Right, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you need to know, and now it's over to you guys. Would you like something like this over here? Would you like one of these packs with these old cards? Do you miss Expanded, or are you happy that Expanded is gone? At least seems to be. Let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. Oh, and please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, join a Discord, and just have lots of fun. Oh, and get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely AB3, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.